everyone, it's Priya here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about how you should slow down with your art and how that can help you to improve your art skills and help you to grow as an artist. I'll also be talking a little bit about my art process a little later in this video. And I just want to also mention quickly that I do have a Patreon where I offer longer tutorials or tutorials exclusive to Patreon, as well as coloring pages and other benefits. So if you'd like to have a look at that, you can find the link in the description box down below. And once again, I just want to mention there's no obligation for you to do this. I'm just mentioning it in case you are unaware that I've got a Patreon and what I offer there. So if you'd like to see that, you can go and have a look at that. And the support that I get from Patreon will really help me as well as help this channel out. So I just like to put that out there. So back to today's video. So when it comes to art, I've realized that slowing down and taking your time with art can really help you improve your art skills and also help you to learn new things. Like especially for example, when I was working full-time, I used to only have a limited amount of time to paint and draw. Especially when I started making YouTube videos, I needed daylight and I didn't have the lighting that I needed. So I was only able to paint and draw on the weekends. When it was good weather, when the lighting was good, I was able to paint and draw because I couldn't film it on at night, and it didn't look good at night, and then the footage didn't turn out the way I wanted it to because I didn't have good lighting. So I was, just allowed to paint in that short period of the weekends amongst everything else that I had to do on weekends. So this really led to me starting to, work quickly and try to rush through pieces and try to rush my art and, get art videos out. And then over time, I started realizing that that's really not going to work because it's not helping me in any way. Yes, I may turn out and create a piece of art that I'm happy with and that everybody likes and it looks good. But for me as an artist, I want to enjoy the process. I want to take my time. I want to learn. I want to be in the present moment. I want to, see what I'm doing, learn from what I'm doing, discover new techniques and new ideas as I'm painting along. And I don't want it to be a rushed process. Art is supposed to be something that you're supposed to enjoy, something you're supposed to, even relax with. So you don't want to rush the process. So especially in the recent days, I've noticed that since my health's been an issue over the last couple of months, I've really had to slow down with everything that I do, including my art, including my videos. Everything has had to slow down a bit. I'm really trying to keep up with my schedule of videos every Thursday, but it does happen that I am struggling some weeks to get videos out because of my health, and maybe I'll get into that in another video maybe at some point. But I just want I had to slow down, and that slowing down has really made me see that I learned so much and I discovered so much by just slowing down and taking my time with my art pieces, because now I can realize and see what I'm doing and I can learn new techniques. Like when I started this painting, for example, I worked only in watercolor and that's what I was going to paint in. And as I worked through the piece and progressed through the piece, I realized that I needed color pencil and that would add a bit more texture. So I went with color pencils as well. So that's something that you need to really take your time with. By taking your time with your art piece, not only are you enjoying the process, not only are you enjoying the art, and not only will you produce art that's better than you expect, but you will really learn a lot. You will discover new techniques. You will discover how your mediums work, how your different supplies work. And that's something that's really important as artists. If you want to really excel in a specific medium or really improve your art skills, you want to grow as an artist. So that really helps if you slow down with your art and you create art and you enjoy it, and you study what you're doing as you're working with your art, as you're drawing, painting. You're learning from what you are creating. And you're learning, what's the go-tos, what's your, go-to supplies maybe, what are your go-to techniques. And, for different subjects, you need different techniques. What is that you need for a specific technique? And like I said with the color pencil, it all depends on what you need and what you experience when you are creating. And I believe that art is an experience and that we all should take time with our art so that we can experience it and not rush through it. So when I look back to the times when I had that rushing mentality, and I used to be like, and running out of time, I need to quickly get this artwork done. Yes, I produced artworks that were nice. There was nothing wrong with them. But I was not, really studying every single thing that I'm doing, actually. I know what I'm doing. I'm creating it using this technique, but there were maybe better techniques that I would have thought of had I slowed down and really paid attention to what I was doing in the present moment. Because that would have allowed me the time, and the patience would have allowed me to think more and to really create ideas and get ideas, because I'm slower, I'm working slower, so I'm able to think more. Whereas when you're rushing, you're just using what you know and you just go on with that and you create your artwork, and you may be happy with it, but maybe there were simpler ways you could have gotten those techniques, or you could have gotten those textures if you just slow down a bit and gave it a thought, and maybe you would have been able to create a much easier process for yourself and not get frustrated because you're rushing for time. So I highly recommend, irrespective of whether art is your business or art is your hobby or something you just do to relax, take your time with it and don't rush it. If you have a piece that you want to create and it's going to take you a month to create that, if you go slow, take a month to create that. Do not try to rush it. Like I say, with the previous video, I mentioned that people like to rush their sketchbooks and just complete it for the sake of completing a sketchbook, but they're not happy with the final pieces that they have in the sketchbook. So it's better that you take your time and work through a sketchbook and work through your art pieces, and have pieces that you are proud of and happy with, and that you've learned so much with, and you're happy to see them and it brings joy to you, than having artwork that you are not happy with because you rushed it. So it's really important, especially for proportions and accurate drawings, that you have patience and you work slowly. So I really recommend that you take your time with your art. Don't rush it. Take how much time you need. If it needs a month, take a month to complete one drawing. If it takes 2 weeks, take 2 weeks. Don't try to complete it in one session just because that's the only time you have. Take the time that you need and slowly work on your piece. You don't have to complete it in one session. So now a little bit about my process. With working with this, with watercolors, I've noticed that I was able to create the under layers and build up on those layers, the shadows, the highlights. But I decided that I needed some of the color pencil to add a bit more texture, as well as the watercolors. I use that as well to create some of the texture and just to refine certain things, to really bring those oranges to life and make them look realistic. I needed a bit more help from color pencils and some more layers, or a few more layers with the watercolors, because a few more layers would really bring this to life. I also realized that I needed some white ink, like a gel pen or jelly roll pen, to add more details to the slices of orange, because the orange slices are not looking as they should look juicy. They should look wet. So I decided to go ahead with my jelly roll and add the highlights on those orange slices. You can see now I'm going through it. I'm adding those white. I'm going to add some more white. The white, you see it on orange, you have those juicy colors on it, the juicy whites on it, and I'm going to be adding that. You can see I'm adding it now, and that's really what makes this whole piece come together, is the highlights. So remember, the highlights and shadows are very important. Look at your reference photo, look at your reference if you're looking on painting from life. Look at that and observe the shadows and observe the highlights. If the shadows are really dark, don't be afraid to darken your shadows. That will really help your image at the end. And if your shadows are, or your highlights are very bright, try to keep those highlights bright, because that's really what will bring the piece together and make it look more realistic, and you'll be really happy with the results. So that's something I just want to mention. Always, I mention in my videos, pay attention to your shadows and highlights, because that's what will make your piece look more realistic and three-dimensional if you are working on it. And now, as I mentioned in this video, that I just want you to know that it's very important for you to take your time and slow down with your art and just enjoy the process and enjoy learning and creating. So I guess that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. If you have, don't forget to like and share. It really helps this channel out. You feel free to leave your comments down below in the comment section. And if you'd like to see other art videos like this, any art inspirational videos that I put up on my channel, then you could consider subscribing. Till the next one. Bye.